Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market trades for March the 3rd, 2010. Our first position tonight, we're going to be looking at the futures markets, specifically in soybean oil. Now, the first thing we want to do here is identify that we have this crossover that took place from Vantage Point. At the beginning of February, we've had a couple of good retracements here. We can see where these long wicks of the candlesticks have come down and touched the 18-day predicted moving average from Vantage Point, only to bounce clear off of them. Now this again happened last week, where we can see here that it came right down, touched it, the 18-day predicted exponential moving average from Vantage Point, only to move from the 38.20 range all the way up to where it currently is at the 39.80 mark. So very strong move. So what we're going to do is we're going to first identify our pivot support, because we've identified that the trend is up, so we only want to buy on dips. Pivot support comes in at 38.58, 39.08, and 39.51. These are our three key levels of support and all represent buying opportunities. Now, with that said, we're now going to go in and have a look at the daily report from Vantage Point. In the daily report, we're looking for the next day predicted high, the next day predicted low, and again, we're looking to match that up to our pivot support areas. So 39.54 is our low, 40.08 is our high. Predicted short, medium, and long-term differences have all turned positive. They're not overbought, so 39.54 is our low. What we want to do now is take this into consideration, take the 39.54 and match it up. So we can see that the predicted 3-day exponential moving average from Vantage Point comes in at 39.51. So that is going to be our entry point, and we're going to be looking for a move tomorrow over the $40 mark. Now, with this triple EMA, what we're going to do is we're going to very quickly here, what we want to do is run through our short, medium, and long-term crossovers from Vantage Point, and then apply our overbought and oversold indicators and momentum indicators. So we can see that the short-term crossover here looks good. That took place late last month. Our medium-term crossover, we're also going to hit apply here. Everything looks good. That medium-term crossover took place, believe it or not, the 1st of February. So very strong move there. If you remember correctly, we were trading long contracts on this actually just last month. Now our long-term crossover took place just after the medium-term crossover, also confirming this move higher. Now what we're looking here, the first indicator we're going to apply is the Vantage Point True Strength indicator. Now we're looking for overbought and oversold specifically, and the strength, the momentum of this move. We can see here that this does require some caution, because we are heavily moving into heavily overbought territory. However, a very good indication here is when the our predicted TSI came down, touched the trigger, and then bounced off and extended higher. That's a very good indication that we still have some uptrend left. Now we're also going to hit the predicted RSI from Vantage Point. We can see that this is flattening out here. Again, also in overbought territory. The market's ignoring that and continuing to move higher. Now, adding one more indicator here, the predicted MACD. We can see that the predicted MACD is crossed over also. It's not in overbought territory yet, but it is heading in that direction. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take these off for now. So we've identified our entry point. We've identified that we are in overbought territory here. Now let's take an indication from this. What we're going to do here is we're going to check the soybean oil with pretty much a no-brainer what it's made from, which is actually soybean. So we're going to put the soybean contracts and the soybean oil contracts side by side. So we can see here that we've got experiencing some volatility in soybeans, yet soybean oil is staying strong. So what we can do from here is we can put our indicators in the short, the medium, and the long term in, and we can compare what's going on here to see if, as long as the soybeans are moving higher, soybean oil should be also moving higher. Now we can see that we just recently got this crossover on the short-term indicator to the upside on the soybean. So the soybean, again, the individual soybeans are beginning to turn higher again. This is positive for soybean oils. So hitting the apply here, we can see that the medium term is running somewhat flat on the soybean contracts by themselves. However, the soybean oil continues to produce a buy signal. Now again, hitting on the long-term crossover here and hit apply to both, we can see here that everything points higher. We've got this crossover that took place in the soybean oil futures, actually happened slightly before the soybeans, but what we really want to look at here is just to identify that these are moving higher together. Even though we've experienced again some volatility in the soybean oil has held firm. So looking at things with the triple EMA crossover, we can see that this is getting ready to make its move yet again to the upside. Now I'm just going to slide this down so everybody can see this a bit. Again, with the soybeans, this everything looks quite good here, so we're going to continue with that. Now again, it's very important to use these other markets from Vantage Point that we can use to identify the target market. So again, everything looks good here for the soybean oil futures to move higher, but also the soybeans themselves. So this is kind of like two trades in one. So we're actually trading the soybean oil, but we're very clearly identifying a buy position in soybeans themselves. So that's our first position for tonight. We're just going to put this back up here so everybody can see that. Now our next position, we're going to be looking at feeder cattle. Now feeder cattle has been on quite a tear as of late. We can see here that it was actually the end of probably about the middle of December, we got this buy signal from Vantage Point, sitting down here at this 92.50 level. Now we've cleared all the way up to where we've closed today. We've closed at the 102.38, so it's a very strong move. So again, we've had the 3-day exponential moving average come down, touch the 8-day, but then bounce off of it, suggesting that feeder cattle is going to continue its move higher. So again, what we want to do is we've identified that we only want to buy this. We're not interested in selling it. Now we want to identify our pivot support. That comes in at 171, 101.50, and 101.93 with a close of 102.38. So now that we've identified our pivot support, we want to go into our daily report from Vantage Point, have a look and see what's going on with the daily report. Now again, the daily report, we're looking for predicted highs, predicted lows, and to match that up to our exponential moving averages, predicted exponential moving averages. So 101.97, 102